Okay, so this is 8.1 and 8.4C guided practice. This is page number 2. We'll go through problems 5, 6, 7, and 8. So first, number 5. Click on a box to choose an expression. You must select all correct expressions. Which of the following verbal expressions can be represented by the algebraic expression square root of x minus 4? All right, so we need to take each of these choices and look to see which one could be represented by this expression. All right, so the square of a number minus 4. The square means x squared. All right, so that's not it. Cross that one off. 4 decreased by the square root of a number. So decrease means minus. All right, and we have 4, and we have square root of a number. All right, however, decreased is not one of those words where we switch, and so this is also not going to work. Next option, the square root of a number less 4. So your keyword here is less. All right, and less does not mean switch either. So we'd have the square root of a number, square root of x, minus 4. That would work. So we're going to circle this one. That's going to be a correct answer choice. The square root of a number decreased by 4. The word there is decreased. All right, we don't switch for decreased. So that is also true. And then 4 less than the square root of a number. So the keyword there is less than. And since it uses that word than, we are going to switch it. So we'll have square root x minus 4. So this one works as well. So the only way we can get the right answer is by circling all 3 of these in green and not circling the 2 in blue. Okay, and again, it's because we had the right order here for the 3rd choice and the 4th choice. And then even though it was backwards for the 5th choice, since we used the word less than, we have to switch it, which is going to be square root of x minus 4, which is what we want. All right, so answers to number 5 are the last 3 choices. Let's look at number 6. All right, number 6. Given the rule r equals TMR divided by k, solve for k. So there are a couple of different ways to do this. The easiest that I think would be to solve this is to multiply by k on both sides. We'll multiply by k. All right, so on the left side here, we're going to have k times r. And on the right side, we're going to have the k's cancel, and we'll have T, M, R. Okay, now we're trying to solve for k. So notice how k is on this side now, and we are multiplying k and r. So in order to get rid of that r, we need to divide by r. Okay, and we get k equals T, M, R divided by r. All right, now if you look at our answer choices, none of these say TMR divided by r. So we need to think, is there any way that we can simplify this? If I look at my answer, I notice that I have an r on the top and an r on the bottom that they can cancel. All right, so that's going to leave me with k equals TM, which I do see as an answer choice. All right, so we're going to solve for k for number 6, and we're going to get k equals TM. Number 7. Which is the correct verbal translation for the following equation? 3x divided by 4 minus 2 equals 5. All right, so let's look at the choices here. We have 2 minus the quotient. All right, so I'm going to stop 2 minus the quotient. All right, I did not start with 2 here, and minus, we do not switch our 2 terms. So I know that this is not going to work. All right, letter B, the product of 3 times a number and 4. All right, so product here means multiply. I'm not multiplying 3x and 4, so that's not going to be correct. Letter C, the quotient of 3 times a number and 4. All right, so this might work. It says the quotient of 3 times a number and 4. This is what we have here. This is a quotient of 3 times a number and 4, so this might be right. Less than 2 is 5. Okay, so again, we need to know this less than word. Remember, less than means switch. So we would need to take the 3x, divide 4 and the 2, and we need to switch them. switch the order. All right, so the 2 should come first, and the 3x over 4 should come second if C were the correct answer. All right, so since that's not the case, we know C is not the correct answer. All right, so it's probably D, but let's just double check. 2 less than the quotient. There's that word there, less than, so we're going to switch. We'll put 2 on this side. We'll put 3x over 4 on this side. Means equals 5. All right, and that is what we have here. So our answer is going to be D. Okay, really quickly, notice that on the right side here for 5, 6, and 7, our Desmos check is blank. There's no way to check these on Desmos, so we're just going to have to just hope that we know what to do for these questions. All right, and the last one, number 8. Click on a box to select an equation. You must select all correct equations. So a couple different things we could do here. We could solve each of these equations for y, and then make sure that it's equal to this, or we can just go ahead and use Desmos. All right, so I'm going to flip over to Desmos, and we're going to plug these in. We have y equals -5 over 7, x minus 2, okay, and here's my line. And we need to see which of these 4 equations are equivalent, and we must select all equivalent equations. All right, I'm going to try the first one, and I'm going to have you try the other 3, okay? I'm going to type in 5x minus 7y equals 14. Okay, now if you look, these are not equivalent. They are not the same line. Okay, if it were to be equivalent, then we would have, it's not going to let me draw. If it would be equivalent, it means it would be the same as the red line, but this is not the same as the red line. All right, so I know that this one is not an answer. Okay, similarly, I can type in all 3 of these and see if it gets the same line as my red line here. And if it does, I know it's equivalent. If it does not, I know that it's not equivalent. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to pause the video and then take a few minutes to check these other 3, see if they are equivalent to y equals -5 over 7x minus 2. Okay, you should have tried these other 3 questions now. If you tried them, you should have known that this equation is equivalent, and this equation is not equivalent, and this equation is equivalent. All right, so you should select both answer choices on the right, and we checked it on Desmos. So the way that we can double check this here and put our work is that we can just put our original equation, which goes something like this. All right, and we can put the other 3 equations on there. We had 2 that worked, and then a couple that didn't work. All right, this is not perfect. Yours should look a little bit better than this. It's hard for me to get it exact on the computer. So this was the second page of 8.1 and 8.4C guided practice. Thank you for watching.